Juan Williams, co-host of The Five. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This Colin Powell email exchanges that have been leaked by DC Leaks, a little embarrassing.
I don't think there's any question. Now, it's embarrassing, though, for both sides. Remember that Powell is the guy that said, oh, I didn't tell her to have this kind of separate private email system, and it turned out he did.
No, he had a private email account.
Yes.
She had a machine.
She had a server. But
Yeah.
he was advising her on how to go about private communications, even with government officials.
Right.
And I think that that's why the Democrats were pushing that out last week. And now this week, you get Powell in his emails and in communications saying she's kind of a dummy, huh?
Yeah, and also revealing that the Obamas and the Clintons hate each other.
They really do. Here, let's just read directly from the email. This is Jeffrey Leeds, obviously a big Obama donor, speaking to Colin Powell. He said, I can't believe Hillary... I think Hillary can't believe she might not make it. It's the one prize she wants. She has everything else, and she hates that the president, that man, as the Clintons call him, kicked her behind in 2008. She can't believe it or accept it. The hostility is palpable.
Well, I mean, clearly now this is not Colin Powell's house. This is communication to Secretary Powell.
That's right.
Yeah.
From a big Obama donor.
Yeah, and so everybody, believe me, if you wanted to look at my emails, you'd see a lot of people have a lot of nasty things to say about Hillary, Trump, and all the gang. So, I mean, but he's trying to ingratiate himself to Colin Powell, who's the big player here. But you can see the quality of the communication. I don't doubt that Hillary and Bill Clinton, too, had some strong feelings. You know how Bill Clinton felt about the loss in South Carolina. So I think that obviously you had rivalries and you had people who are bitter and people like that donor who had put money into some pockets and didn't win.
Yeah.
Doesn't it remind you that there's just no transparency, though? It's like everyone's saying stuff behind the scenes. You read these emails, and they're not saying that when they step up to the podium. They're not saying that when a microphone's in their face, but they're saying that this is how they really feel.
Yeah, well, politics is hardball, honestly. I mean, people have hard feelings, but that's not unique.
But you're also getting the sense that Democrats have been very worried about her health going back a long way. So here's an email from March of 2015, and I believe this is from Jeffrey Leeds again to the former Secretary of State, Colin Powell. Sheldon Whitehouse, senator from Rhode Island, who is a huge Clinton supporter, said they were both, he and Hillary, giving speeches at the same event a few months back, and she could barely climb the podium steps.
What's the time frame, do you know?
I think it says March 14th, 2015. So this is, a year and a half ago. These are long-time concerns on the part of Democrats who know Hillary well about her physical condition.
Well, I think that what you remember is the concussion and the whole thing with the glasses. And, I mean, this has been going on.
A couple of times.
And then, remember, Bill Clinton was on the air, and he said, in terms of the dehydration, he started to say frequent, then he said, well, sort of more like once or twice. But clearly, an ongoing problem, and I think it related. I mean, there was lots of talk yesterday about, well, she doesn't drink a lot of water, and why doesn't she drink water? Oh, she doesn't want to go to the bathroom, doesn't want to, I don't know, but I'm just telling you, it's clear that there have been concerns. I don't think that they are concerns that somehow she is about to die or fall down or go dead.
There have been a lot of concerns. There have been a lot of concerns. Ed Klein, who's a journalist and an author, he's been saying this. Exactly. He's been saying this for how long? Years now, at least.
Couple years.
You sat down with him earlier on the show, and he's saying, I've been telling you guys this for a long time. Listen to his interview with Steve.
This collapse that we saw the other day really had virtually nothing to do with her having pneumonia. This is much deeper than pneumonia. I had an interview, and I'm sorry to pull out a piece of paper, but I got to do this, with a friend who said, she's not steady on her feet. She frequently gets dizzy at home, even when she climbs stairs. This is a friend who speaks to her. She has her legs elevated when she's at home because of her circulation problems. Huma Abedin brings her cold, water-soaked towels to put on her neck and her forehead. And Bill has been beside himself, begging her to get a real checkup.
So the Clintons themselves have been at odds with each other because Bill says you need to go see a doctor to figure out if there's something the matter.
I don't know that I would buy. Ed Klein is obviously a great conspiracy theorist about the Clintons, but I just think that there is a real health issue, and obviously we saw that. Now, I don't know if it goes beyond the pneumonia.
Well, for the most part, allergies don't cause pneumonia. And pneumonia does not cause you to collapse out on the street.
Well, no, but if you are sick, and I was sick last week, I had something. So.
I've had pneumonia.
Okay, but I'm just saying, if
And
you
I've
know.
got allergies.
Yeah, but if you sit out in the sun, if you get tired, if you don't rest, I think we're human beings, and you know what happens.
But
this
an hour and a half
suggestion.
later, are you? If you have pneumonia to the point where it drops you, your legs collapse from beneath you, and I've seen this happen to people, including my wife. An hour and a half later, you're not capable of walking unaided down the sidewalk, smiling and.
I don't know what
happened.
happened.
It's just not real.
Well, what's not real is I think there's a lot of feeling among Republicans. Oh my God, we wish that she would go away and not beat Donald Trump. And I think right now the poll shows that she's doing that. We see President Obama out on the campaign trail yesterday getting a strong response. His numbers going up there now. He's at more than 50% in approval.
You wrote the op-ed for Fox News, and you said he needs to get out there, and if he does, she could win.
Well, look at so
and
we're talking.
He's out there.
That's what he was doing in Philadelphia yesterday. He was quite effective. Now we're talking about who can stand in for someone who may be having physical ailments, right? You look at President Obama. Right, the Washington Post had him at 58% approval over the weekend, Ainsley. You look at Vice President Biden, more than 50%. You look at Mrs. Obama, 64% approval.
The larger issue is people like them more than they like her.
That's true. That's true. Absolutely. But look at the contrast. Who does Trump have to go out and stand up for him? He doesn't have Bush. He doesn't have Romney.
He doesn't have
McCain. Well, that's wonderful. And she's a great guest, by the way. But I'm just telling you, in terms of major political players who have that kind of clout with the voters, and especially undecided voters, and especially, looking at you, Ainsley, educated white women, oh my God, there's just no comparison.
But after 30 years, she really needs a surrogate? I mean,
everybody.
Really, she's the most famous woman on planet Earth. Why does she need the president speaking on her behalf?
Trump goes out
because of Bernie Sanders. Remember, we went through a very
surrogate.
difficult primary process, and Bernie Sanders supporters were not energized, still are not arguably energized by Hillary Clinton.
So you're saying if she wins, it's because of President Obama?
No, I think that's part of that story, and I think it's very necessary. Maybe I wouldn't say absolutely because of President Obama, but I think that you look at the way the Democratic Party is coalescing around Hillary Clinton, they are going to help her. Tucker was talking about someone helping her up on the stage. She has a lot of helping hands right now available to her.
She needs them.
He's one of the 5 people over on the farm who will be watching you tonight.
It's a pleasure to be here. Boy, you guys get up early.
We do.
Yeah, the early birds get the worm.
45 minutes, we're done.
Oh, I'm getting started.
That's right.
Oh, my gosh.
All right.